Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Titli's Busy Kitchen with me, Titli. I was wandering around the supermarket and I noticed that limes were on special offer and I thought, lime pickle. In this version of the recipe I've got 7 limes and I've cut them into 12 pieces. There's a clue here as to how to cut them into 12 pieces. And I'm going to put these in a nice, clean, sterile bowl. I'm going to add to this 2 ounces of salt. And then I'm going to cover it with some cling film. Just put a couple of elastic bands around to make sure that it stays stuck. Shake. And now I'm going to leave this in a warm place in the kitchen, in a corner somewhere, for a couple of weeks while it goes brown and the limes become soft. After a couple of weeks, the limes have gone this really unappetising greeny brown colour and the skins are really soft, as you can see. That's fine, we can proceed to the next stage. It's time to add some spices into the limes. Here I've got 1 tablespoon each of mustard powder and fenugreek powder. If you don't have the powders but you've got the seeds, put the seeds in a coffee grinder and grind them to a fine powder like I've done. I've got here 1½ tablespoons of hot chilli powder, and depending on how hot you want your lime pickle, add anywhere between 0 and 2, and ½ teaspoon of turmeric. I'll just add these into the limes and mix them in thoroughly. Lovely! Now my next 2 ingredients are rather unusual. This is a ground spice called Asafoetida. It is the most disgusting thing you will ever smell. It smells like the worst sweaty socks imaginable until you cook it. Here I've got ½ teaspoon of Asafoetida. This is mustard oil. Now, because I've bought this in the EU, it has to be labelled as for external use only. Now, if you want to see why that is, you can Google KTC mustard oil and you'll find a full explanation. I'm going to use 170 ml of mustard oil in my cooking here. A word about mustard oil, it smells when you cook it, so make sure all your windows are open. In the pan I've put the 170 ml of mustard oil and I'm going to add in the Asafoetida and stir it round. I actually have this bent spoon for stirring smelly things because this is going to stink. So I stir it round, turn the heat on, quite a high heat because I'm going to bring this up to smoking point. Keep stirring as you heat it. Okay, I can just see it starting to smoke around the edges here, so I'm going to turn the heat off now. Okay, I'm going to pour the hot oil over the limes. Now obviously you don't want to have your limes in a plastic bowl because otherwise it's going to melt. And be very careful when you're adding this hot oil in. Just dribble it gently in because it's going to sizzle and spit, as you can see. Make sure you've got a nice clean pan at the end. And then, carefully, because the sides are going to be very hot, mix all this together. Alright, that's ready for bottling. Leave it for at least a week in its jars. Obviously the longer you leave it, the better it's going to be. And don't forget to label and date it as well. Well, today Titli's busy kitchen became Titli's pungent kitchen. Make sure you've got the kitchen door closed and the kitchen windows open. I've just had to have a shower with a lot of soap. Join me next time in Titli's Busy Kitchen with me, Titli Nihal. Until next time, Khuda Hafiz.